Good morning from Johnson City, Tennessee, here in the United States. I know for some of you, it's probably good afternoon or even good evening or good night. So I really appreciate everybody joining us today. I know there's a few people still trying to get into the webinar, but I didn't want to make the rest of you wait. So we'll just add people as they come. But yeah, so today's our pre-arrival webinar for our graduate students. We're going to be covering a lot of information, but I really just want to kick off the presentation by saying congratulations. I know that it's been a really long process for a lot of you through searching for universities, applying to colleges, trying to find scholarships and funding, and going through the I-20 and the visa process. I know it's been a really long process, and so we're just really excited that you're planning to join us and that you've made it through the process. And so we're really excited to hopefully see you on campus here in a little under a month. So I know that we've got some students who are still trying to schedule their visa interview appointment. We've got some students who are waiting for their interview, and then we've got other students who have already been through the interview process. They've got their visa, and now they're trying to make plans to join us here in a few weeks. So a lot of different people in different stages, but I think this presentation will help everyone that I mentioned. So we'll be covering lots of stuff. It'll take us probably about 30 to 45 minutes. And then at the very end, we'll have time for questions. So before we get into the presentation, I wanted to take a second and introduce myself. I'm Taylor Forbes. I'm the coordinator of international admissions here at ETSU. So you've probably maybe received some emails from me or WhatsApped with me. So it's hopefully able to put a name with a face now. And I'll let Caleb and Hannah introduce themselves too.
Hello, everyone. My name is Caleb Bennett, and I serve as the Director of International Enrollment Services here at ETSU. We're super excited to talk to you today and meet you here in a few weeks. So thank you so much for joining the webinar.
Hey, everyone. My name is Hannah Norris, and I'm the Coordinator for International Student Success. And we are so excited to welcome you guys and help you get your journey started here at ETSU.
So that's part of our international enrollment services team here at ETSU. You've probably heard from all three of us, hopefully, and you'll definitely meet us here in a few weeks. So we're really excited to see you. And so this first part of the presentation is really just a refresher on everything with ETSU. So for those of you who are about to go for your visa interview, I think some of this information can help you. And for those of you who are still trying to schedule your visa interview, just keep some of this information in the back of your mind, because I think it will help you too. And for those of you that already have your visa, maybe this will excite you about what's to come in a few weeks. But ETSU, we're a four-year public university. We're an R2 research university, and we're in the NCAA Division I level of collegiate athletics. So we're in the top level of collegiate athletics. We've got over 160 different undergraduate programs and over 150 different graduate programs. Our mascot is a buccaneer, which is another word for a pirate if you don't know what a buccaneer is. And then our mascot specifically is named Bucky, and I've got a couple of pictures of him, or I guess one picture and his logo. Our colors are navy and gold that you'll see all over campus and throughout the presentation. So I know that's quite a question that I get from some students. They ask about who our mascot is or what a mascot is, and they want to know all about our school spirit. So ETSU itself, we're home to almost 15,000 students. So we're a really good size university. I always say that it's the perfect size because it's big enough that we've got all the big working parts of a large American university, the things like a career service center, free tutoring, professional academic advising, the fun things like student organizations. But we're still small enough that you don't have to sacrifice some of the benefits of going to a bigger school. So the things like a small classroom size, where our average class size is 20. We have a student to faculty ratio of 16:1. So that means when you need to get in to talk to an advisor or a tutor or any staff member at ETSU, you're not going to have to, battle out tons of other students to get in and meet with someone. But yeah, so great size. I mentioned we've got 15,000 students, and out of those 15,000, about 400 are international, and they're students from around the world. We've got students from 62 different countries, and you can kind of see on the map there that it really is from all over the world. So you'll get to meet students from lots of different countries. We've got lots of student organizations, which for undergrad and grad students, that's great because you're going to be in the classroom a lot, lots of learning, lots of homework and that kind of stuff. But then our student organizations can really help you balance out your schedule and kind of your own personal life. We've got everything from academic groups to things like leadership and civic engagement organizations, faith-based organizations. We've just got a lot of different things for any kind of hobby that you might have or any kind of interest that you might have. So it really helps our students to get involved, and we've got a lot of different ways that they can get involved. One student organization that I wanted to mention that Hannah works really closely with is our International Buccaneer Buddies. It's a student organization that really helps our incoming students better acclimate to Johnson City and living in the United States and going to school at an American university. They do lots of fun things throughout the year, things like hiking trips, holiday events, movie nights. It's a great way for you to make friends and just learn how to navigate the American classroom and navigate an American city. And so it's a lot of fun, and I really encourage you to join it if you're interested. And then as far as location, so we're located in Tennessee. If you're looking at the map of the United States, we're going to be that highlighted state right here in the Southeast region. It's a great place to live because it's one of the safest areas in the United States. It's also one of the most affordable areas in the United States. And then we also have great weather. We get 4 seasons. So right now we're in our summer season. We have pretty mild summers, anything from 27 to 30 degrees. And then you get into the fall, it starts cooling off a little bit. Leaves start to change, but it's still pretty warm. Still can do a lot of stuff outside. Lots of Americans actually vacation in this area in the fall. And so it's just a really neat place for our fall semester. In the wintertime, we have a pretty mild winter. We get, 2 or 3 pretty good snow showers, and then it warms up and spring comes out too. So like I said, it's really cool. If you've never seen snow before, you might get to see a little bit of snow in the wintertime, just enough to kind of to satisfy your craving for snow. And then, like I said, it warms up. Johnson City itself is in the heart of the Appalachian Highlands, which it's a really, I keep saying beautiful, but it really is a beautiful place to go to school. Because of all the mountains, there's lots of outdoor activities, everything from hiking and biking. If you just want to throw up a hammock or throw out a blanket and do some homework or read a book or just relax, there's plenty of spots to do that. We've got about 70,000 people in Johnson City, which is a small town, but it's a good sized town because it's big enough that we've still got all the fun things that go on with living in the United States, like lots of restaurants, movie theater, bowling alley, lots of places to shop. But it's still small enough where the cost of living is low relative to a lot of other cities in the United States. It's a very safe area, which always makes parents feel a little bit better, I think. But it's just a great place to live. It's a fun place to go to school for sure. We're right down the road from the Great Smoky Mountain National Park as well. So if you aren't familiar with the Great Smoky Mountain National Park, it's the most visited national park in the United States. So as I said earlier, lots of Americans vacation in this area. Our campus, I call it about a 15-minute walking campus because you can get from one side to the other in about 15 minutes. But we do have over 8 kilometers of hiking and biking trails on campus. So like I said, if you want to get out and just relax in nature, you're going to be able to do that. We've got a full video tour on our YouTube channel. It's a couple years old, so there's some things that aren't completely up to date on it, but I think it will give you a good idea of what our campus really looks like. We've also got a virtual tour on our website. The URL is down here. It's just etsu.university-tour.com. So if you want to check that out, you can, just to kind of get familiar with campus before you get here. And then once you get here, we can definitely give you a campus tour if you want one. I'm sure your program coordinator will be able to show you around campus and around your building, classroom spaces, and all that stuff too. And I get asked a lot from students about what's special about our campus. I think there's a lot. Over the last couple of years, we've done about $250 million in construction. So there's lots of new things on campus, lots of recently renovated spaces, everything from our newly renovated student center, which you'll get to see when you get here for orientation that Monday. Everything from our Starbucks and Chick-fil-A to there's an on-campus radio station, multicultural center, our huge campus dining hall up on the 3rd floor, and all kinds of other stuff that we're really excited about. We've got a brand new Martin Center for the Arts, which is this bottom picture right here. It's got a 1,200 seat auditorium, a black box theater, a recital hall, all kinds of classroom spaces, as well as a costume shop and scene shop. So obviously we'll have our student-led productions there, but we also have professional Broadway plays that tour throughout the United States. Some of them will stop in Johnson City. And so students can actually go and experience a real Broadway play on campus. So another thing that we're excited about, got a new University Commons area down here. You may have seen some pictures of it on Instagram or on our website. There's a slide, a putting green. There's a new campus bakery out there. So it's just a fun outdoor space to kind of go and relax and hang out between classes. And then we've got a center for physical activity that many students get excited about. It's a campus gym. It's included with your tuition. So to get in, all you have to do is swipe your student ID. Lots of workout equipment, basketball courts, an indoor track. They even offer classes, everything from martial arts to yoga to ballroom dancing, that you can sign up for free and learn how to do all those things. It's even got its own Olympic-sized swimming pool. So something that lots of students like to use to stay active. We do have a library that's open 24/7. It's got everything from computer labs to testing to a testing center. Our archives of Appalachia are there for any of the history students. And then it even has its own Einstein bagel shop. So that's really just a refresher on some things about ETSU that may help you in your visa interview. It may also just kind of refresh things if you've forgotten or you aren't as familiar. So this section is really going to talk about just some quick visa interview tips for those of you who are going for your visa interview. You may have, if you've been doing your research online and looking for tips, you've probably seen a lot of these. There's lots of good resources online. So I encourage you to look those up and do as much research on your own as you can. But make sure to bring all your required documents. That seems pretty like common sense maybe, but just make sure that you've got everything, dress appropriately. Remember, it is a pretty serious interview. And to be honest with your answers, that's really important, that you're just honest and transparent with the officer that's interviewing you. Make sure that you speak clearly and confidently. If English isn't your first language, try to practice that at home as much as you can before you go for your interview. I know that can be a little intimidating. And I know the whole interview process is really intimidating, but just know it's quick. It'll probably take just a couple of minutes for you to meet with that officer. So as long as you can try to stay as calm as possible, I think it will really help you and go a long way. Make sure that you know your programs and your goals and how your major, your program really fits in with what your career and professional goals are. That's a really common question and something that I think they're kind of looking at if you've got your goals kind of set and how your program plays into those goals. So that's something else to kind of consider. And then make sure that you know your finances. And that's another kind of common sense thing. If you've done any kind of research about the visa interview, all the resources online will talk about knowing your finances and your future plans. So just be able to talk about those and be transparent and honest about that. You're more than likely going to get at least one question. And so just some things to think about. And again, there are lots of resources online. We're also happy to be a resource. So if you want to meet with me individually or sign up for a time to do that, I'll be happy to talk to you before your visa interview, and we can kind of talk about maybe things that you're worried about, or if you just have general questions, or maybe even if you don't know what to ask, we'll be more than happy to help you and kind of give you a little bit more familiarity with how that process works. For students who aren't going to be able to get a visa interview date for this semester, or you were denied your visa during the visa interview or something like that, we do have a deferment process for our graduate students. To kind of start the process, you need to let your program coordinator know that you're going to need to defer. The last day to be able to defer is August 28th. So that's really important. If you wait until the day after that, you're not going to be able to defer and you're going to have to reapply. Students can defer one time, but after that one time, they're going to have to reapply again. And then I also get asked about if a student defers, do they need to request a new I-20? Depending on what semester you're deferring to will depend on how the I-20 process will work for you. But just know once that deferment is processed, we'll send you a link with and instructions on your next steps. So it could be everything from requesting an entire new I-20, or it could be just updating the current I-20. And like I said, that all depends on the semester that you're deferring to. This QR code down here at the bottom of the screen, if you scan that, that'll take you to our website and it will give you some deferment instructions. So there's a lot more details there than what's on this slide. So if deferment is something that you're interested in or something that you think you're going to have to do, go ahead and go to that website and check it out. You can save it for later. Or if you get down the road and you decide you need to defer and you can't remember what the website is, just send us a WhatsApp message or an Instagram message, or you can email us and we'll send you the link too. So a lot of information so far. This next section is really going to be for your next steps. So this is for everyone, especially those of you that have already received your visa. Kind of some things you need to start thinking about and doing as we get really close to the start of school. If you've not already started thinking about housing, you probably should. We've got lots of local off-campus housing that's within walking distance of campus, several different apartment complexes that still have some availability. We normally have on-campus housing for graduate students. It's pretty limited availability at this point. If that's something you're interested in, you can go to etsu.edu/housing and start a housing application. That process is really simple. We actually just posted instructions on how to do that on our Instagram, so you can go and check out that video and how to work the housing portal. But if you want to live off campus, there are things still available. You can scan this QR code. It's going to take you to another link to our website that's got a list of some off-campus housing options. Those aren't all the off-campus apartments and stuff in Johnson City. That's just some that we have a lot of students that live there. They've had fairly good experiences, and so that might be a good starting point for those of you who haven't already secured housing. And please try to secure your housing before you leave for campus. That's something that in the past we've had some students show up, not many, but a few students show up and they've not had their housing, and they've struggled the first week or couple weeks of classes trying to find housing. So if that's something you can go ahead and do while you're in your home country before you get to the United States, please do that. If you need help or you have questions or you're thinking about a certain apartment complex off campus and you want to know more about it, feel free to reach out to me. I can talk to you about it. If I know students who have lived there before, I can talk about their experiences. So I don't mind to help you at all, but please try to find that out and plan before you leave for Johnson City. We do have on-campus dining. If you live on campus, you do have to, well, for graduate students, you won't have to have a meal plan, but you can have a meal plan if you want one. We've got lots of chain restaurants on campus. We have a campus dining hall and our student center that has lots of different food stations that you're welcome to use too. Immunizations, you probably started getting emails from us about completing your immunizations. We've got we have lots of resources for you. So if you get confused or have questions, like I keep saying, please let us know. We want to be just another support system for you and be able to talk to you through the details. But if you can get your immunizations in your home country, that can be a little bit cheaper than if you wait and do it here on campus. We can offer all of the immunizations on campus here. But from past experiences, it seems like it could be a little bit cheaper for you to do it in your home country if you have access to those immunizations. If you choose to do it in your home country, at this website down here, etsu.edu/university health, you'll find a form that your physician can fill out. And so if they can fill out that form, and then you can email it to our University Health Center, you can send it to us, or if you bring it with you when you arrive, then we can get that on file for you. You will have to do a tuberculosis test when you get to campus. We'll help you sort through some of that stuff when you get here and talk to you about how to do that. Just wanted to make you aware of it before you got here. So health insurance, you should receive an email from us really soon. If not by the end of the week, it'll be early next week with instructions on how to purchase health insurance. It's another question that I get a lot. Students have to purchase health insurance before they're able to register for classes. And so once you get that email, if you want to take a look at it and follow the instructions, if you have any questions, like I continue to say, let us know. We'll be happy to help you. So graduate orientation, it's coming up. It's a few weeks away. Please plan to arrive in Johnson City no later than the 20th of August. And that's because the in-person orientation is going to start on that Monday, the 21st. You can register for orientation online. We've sent you some emails about it. If you can't find that email, let us know and we'll send you another invitation. Students have to be accepted. They have to have their I-20, and then you should receive that invitation. And if you have questions about orientation or what that looks like, you can go to etsu.edu/grad-school/orientation. It's going to be the afternoon of Monday, the 21st of August. And they'll go over a lot of stuff, but it's really just to help acclimate our graduate students to ETSU and kind of go over everything that you could possibly need to know, or as much of it as you could possibly need to know before the start of classes. On the Tuesday after in-person orientation, the International Enrollment Services team, we're going to host a welcome cookout here at the Ada Ernest International House. So that's something that we're really excited about. We're already planning that. There'll be free food. It's a great chance to meet some of us in person. It's a great chance to meet other international students. There'll be undergraduate and graduate students there. We'll have games, lots of fun stuff going on. And free food is also always great. I know some of you may have never experienced a real American cookout. Maybe you've seen a tailgate or a cookout in movies. And so might be your first chance of actually getting to go to a real, big American cookout. And so that's something that we're excited to share with our international students, and hopefully you will join us for that. And you'll receive some more emails about this too. Again, I just want to make you aware of it before we get there. We'll also have an in-person check-in event that's required for all international students. It's going to be the 23rd of August. It's that Wednesday before classes start. We're going to discuss a lot of different topics, everything from cross-cultural differences through things like health insurance and immigration rules and regulations. Lunch is going to be provided that day. So if you just please make plans to be there, you're going to have to be there as a part of your check-in process with your visa and your I-20. That same day, that afternoon, we're also going to have a one-stop shop. Hannah is actually coordinating that. We'll have representatives from Regions Bank, cell phone carrier who will be there. We'll have career services, our university health clinic, health insurance, and ETSU advisement. So it really is a one-stop shop for everything you could possibly need to get started off on the right foot with the semester and the start of classes. And Hannah, I don't know if there's anything you want to add with the one-stop shop or any of that stuff.
No. You did great just covering the general stuff that we have going on. So it'll be campus resources and community resources, all that stuff, so that you guys can start off on the right foot. So we're just here to help. Yeah,
something that we've found, I think, in the past that has been really helpful for students. And so I think it will continue to be helpful for you as you join us. We've also got a supper club. Hannah, would you want to talk about that a little bit?
Sure. Okay. So what it'll be is we'll have international students sign up to have a meal once a month during the semester at a family's home, a local community family. This is totally free for you guys. We just have some families that want to welcome you to the area and get to know you, and you all can both learn from each other. So you'll be getting more information about how to sign up for that and who you will have been paired with. So be on the lookout for that.
Since we're getting pretty close to the start of the semester, I'm sure that some of you have started looking at airport information and trying to book some flights. We really are encouraging students to try to arrive on the 19th through 20th. I know that you can arrive a little earlier than that, but if you can get here closer to the 19th or 20th, that's a little bit better. And if you fly into the Tri-Cities Regional Airport, it's about 25 minutes from our campus. On the 19th or the 20th, we can provide airport pickup for you. So the way that it will work, we'll pick you up at the airport, we'll bring you back here to the Ada Ernest International House. And so we can get you here in Johnson City, and then we can work with you from there. So if you can just let us know if you've already booked your arrival information or your flight information, if you can send that to us, you'll receive some emails with forms and things over the next few weeks. That's a great way. That's probably the best way to send us the information. But if you don't see that and you just want to let us know, you can always send us a quick email. Let us know when you're going to arrive and how you're arriving and where you're arriving. That can help us coordinate and better serve you. So if you've not already booked your airport information or your airport and flight details, please fly into Tri-Cities Regional Airport. It'll be the easiest thing for you and for us to help serve you and get you here to campus. So if you have questions about that, please let me know. It is a regional airport, so you'll have to make a connecting flight from one of the larger international airports in the United States. Many students will fly in through places like Atlanta or Newark or DC or Detroit, Dallas. There's lots of different airports that will make connecting flights to Tri-Cities.
Taylor, I would just add one thing. As the slide says, as Taylor mentioned, please try to arrive on the 19th or 20th. That is just going to be it's going to be easier for you and for just arranging that airport pickup. But if you're arriving before that, please let us know. We can send you some information on some other options for airport pickups, things like that. So please just let us know. As Taylor said, we'll send out that form soon. But the 19th to 20th is a great time to arrive. We've got some things planned for your arrival.
Like I said earlier, please book your housing before you get to Johnson City. I know that in some cases, students will arrive and their apartment's not ready. Maybe you've got a couple days before you're going to be able to move in. If something like that happens and you need a place to stay between when your apartment's ready or your house is ready and when you arrive, we do have lots of different hotels in Johnson City. We've got some more internationally known brands like Marriott, Hilton, IHG. We've also got a Carnegie hotel that's right across from campus. That's always really popular with our campus visitors. So those are a few different options. If you start looking and you need somewhere to stay for a couple of days until your housing is ready, those are some good options. Let us know and we can make recommendations or talk to you through about your specific case. And then I did want to mention that we have campus transportation. We have a busing system in Johnson City. The buses that come through campus, we call buckshots, since we're the Buccaneers. A lot of things that you'll find, if you've not already, have Buccaneers or some sort of pirate theme to them. But there are multiple routes. So if you don't have a car and you're not planning to buy a car, you'll still be able to get to campus or get to the grocery store or anywhere like that. Just wanted to mention it. You'll see JCT on the side of this bus or on this building that just stands for Johnson City Transit. If you go to their website, they've got all their routes listed throughout the city. And this is something else that we can talk about on the Wednesday of kind of that orientation week. We'll talk to you about some of the transportation opportunities and options for you as a student. So on-campus employment is another big question that I get throughout the year, especially this time of year as school and classes get a little bit closer. International students can work up to 20 hours per week on campus. And so as long as it's either for the university or a contractor that is working here on campus, you'll have the ability to work for them, but only up to 20 hours per week. So everything from food services, our Center for Physical Activity, they hire lots of students, as well as our library. And then there are lots of other smaller options, but those are the three most popular areas. We've also got graduate assistantships and tuition scholarships available. Many of you have probably already, if you've gotten one, you've probably already received it, as a lot of those are kind of built into the program that you're pursuing. If you're interested in a GA or a TS and you've not already received one of those, there is still some limited availability left. Those will be on our website. You can just do a Google search of ETSU graduate assistantship or tuition scholarship, and that job board should post or should come up. If you need help finding it, let us know and I can send it to you. But please apply for those before you get to campus. And so in the past, we've had some confusion with a few students who've arrived at campus thinking that they will get a GA, but that GA has not been available due to the limited availability. And so they've really struggled, and it's not always been the best situation. So for the students who apply before coming to campus, they've already talked to their supervisor and they've received that GA. We've had lots of success with those students. And so it just seems like a better system. So if you can please apply for those before you get to campus, that'll be the best for you and for us. And Sodexo, that's that food service company that I mentioned that works on campus. If the student's working there 20 hours per week at $10 an hour for the fall and the spring semester, they can expect to earn up to about $6,000 per year by working through Sodexo. So again, if you have questions about working on campus or GAs or TSs, please let us know and we'll be happy to talk to you about them. So just a quick packing list. Remember, East Tennessee has 4 seasons. So if you have warm, don't forget your warm clothes if you have some, as well as some of your more like summer, fall, spring type of clothes. Bed linens, they're twin XL. If you have those and want to bring your own sheets, you can, but we're also going to have, you're going to have the ability to go and buy that stuff once you get here too. So if you don't have that stuff, don't worry about it. But if you do and you want to bring your own special things, you're welcome to do that too. And again, just like I said with the visa interview, don't forget your passport, your I-20, all of your paperwork that you're going to need to get into the country. And then just some friendly travel tips. There's lots of these. If you're on Instagram or TikTok, or if you just do a Google search, there are lots of travel tips and packing lists and things to think about before you come. But most US carriers are only going to allow 2 bags weighing up to 50 pounds. If you go over that, they'll charge you extra depending on the airline. That can be a little expensive. So just something to be aware of. Normally you get a carry-on bag and a personal bag, something like a backpack. So that's, again, just something to be aware of. If you do your own research, you'll see lots of creative ways to pack a lot of stuff in that amount of bags and under that weight. And then make sure to give yourself plenty of time, especially now that if you're booking your flight plans, that you give plenty of time for your layovers. So usually the more time you can give for layover, the better. Obviously up to a certain point, you don't want to be sitting in an airport for too long, but just make sure to give yourself enough time so you're not having to run through the airport to catch a connecting flight. And if booking an international flight, something you've never done, let us know and we can help you with that too. So almost at the very end of the presentation, this is just a quick checklist of some of the things that we talked about for your next steps. So most of you have already activated your account, like your gold link. You've requested your I-20. You're either waiting for your visa interview date or you're about to book one. Complete that visa interview. Let us know how it goes. If you've received that visa, let us know your travel plans. Go ahead and apply for housing, whether it be on campus or off campus, register for orientation, and then all those things that I just talked about, like immunizations, booking your flight, and then staying connected with us. All really important things as we get really close to the start of the semester. And so these are just some helpful contacts to know. Hannah's information's there, my information's there, as well as Chastity and Amanda. You've probably received some emails from Amanda. She's the graduate international student advisor. She works with all of our students in their I-20s, and she'll be working with you a lot during orientation and check-in as far as some of the immigration rules and regulations. So you'll probably see some emails from all of us before classes start, and you'll definitely meet us at orientation. So this is some great ways to connect with us. This is really the end before we open it up to questions. If you want to take the virtual tour, it's online. Follow us on Instagram, especially if you're someone who doesn't like to check their email a lot. Instagram is the easiest way to stay up to date with us. If you have questions, you can always WhatsApp, send us an Instagram message, or email us for sure. And so I guess that's the end of the presentation. If you have questions now, I know that I've seen some come in the chat feature. I can go through and answer some of those. And then if you have others, now that we're at the end of the presentation, please put those in the Q&A feature. And we'll do our best to answer. So I see a question. Sorry, I've got several direct message questions. So I'll go through and try to answer as many of those as I can. One student asked, how much money approximately does a GA provide at 20 hours per week? And so GAs are really interesting. So if you have a full GA, it normally covers your tuition, the tuition portion of the cost to attend ETSU. And then depending on the position or the office that you're working in, students will also get a monthly stipend. So you're normally paid at the end of the month. That can be everything from $600 to $800 per month. Again, just depending on what position that you're in. And so it normally isn't enough to, cover housing and food and all that stuff, but that stipend will help, help go towards some of those things like housing and food and, buying books and school supplies and that kind of thing too. I had another question about insurance. Do international students have to purchase an insurance only through International Student Protection?
It's a great question. ETSU has currently switched our health insurance provider. You should receive information about this by the end of the day tomorrow. We just finalized some things earlier this week. It's through a different company, not the ISP, which was our former plan. But yes, international students will be required to do their health insurance or purchase their health insurance through the ETSU affiliated company, which is Luermark.
Yeah, and I have another question. This student's not able to register for their courses because they have a hold on their account. And the insurance link is still not available. So like Caleb said, and like I said earlier, you'll have to sign up for insurance before you're able to register for classes, but that information is going to be emailed to you. And so by tomorrow, you should be able to go through and sign up for insurance and be able to remove that hold by early next week. There's one student who has a visa interview on the 21st of August. And they're asking if that's too late to defer. It's not. So you don't have to defer by the 21st, you have to defer by the 28th. So August 28th, that's the last day to defer. After that, you'll need to reapply and fill out a new application. And then I see there's another one about the Johnson City Transit. Is it a service? Is the service free, or do students have to pay for it? It's a free service, so it's paid through by taxes from the city. A really simple way, I guess, to explain it. So your students are able to use that for free. Course registration is another question. How do they go about that? So your program coordinator should be reaching out to you. You'll have to sign up for the insurance. So you may have not heard from your coordinator yet, since we've been waiting for the ability to share with you the insurance information. And it may not be until you get here in person that you sign up for classes. I think it really just depends on your coordinator. once you've been able to complete the insurance and sign up for that, reach out for them and let them know. Give us just a couple days. So if you say you sign up for insurance over the weekend, if you can give us until the middle of next week to remove the holds from your account, you should be able to go on your Gold link and see that if you still have the hold on your account or not. And so once that's removed, you should be able to reach out to your coordinator and they can work with you about registering for classes. Got a question about parking permits. Do we need to purchase insurance and register for classes before getting a parking permit? I think that's how it read. So if you can wait until classes start to get your parking permit. So you can go that first week and go by parking services. If you need a parking permit, they'll be able to give you one there. So you don't have to worry about it right now. If you don't want to order one yet, you don't have to. You can wait until you've registered for classes and purchase the insurance to go get the parking permit. And if you want to do it before July 30th, you can, we can talk after the webinar about the specifics of that.
So there's a few questions on my side too that I'm trying to catch up on, but I'll try to answer a few of these. Fees will be due after you register for classes. And so once you register for classes, you'll see that on your account. And then you can set up a payment plan or pay those after registration. The first day of classes is August 28th, assuming that you have class on a Monday. If you have some Tuesday, Thursday classes, those will obviously begin on the Tuesday, which is August 29th. Health insurance is not waived for graduate assistants. So all international students would have to have student health insurance that just covers you for a lot of possible things that may arise for you here on campus. If you do have an interview date in middle of August, August 20th or after, we recommend obviously go to that visa interview, but I would have your travel plans penciled in. And so you may want to wait to actually purchase your flights, but be looking for flights so you can arrive as quickly as possible after receiving that visa. Or if you're unable to receive a visa, to defer quickly before classes begin. There's another question about scholarships for the spring. If you are admitted for the fall and you received a merit scholarship or a GA or a TS position, and you end up deferring to the spring or next fall, you'll need to work with your the department that offered you a graduate assistantship to see if that can be deferred as well. That really depends on where your GA is. The merit scholarship can be deferred, and so you can defer that. But as far as GAs or tuition scholarships position, you'll need to wait. You need to contact that department specifically. And then there's a question about the first meeting on campus. Graduate orientation is Monday afternoon, the 21st. And we'll have a cookout on Tuesday night, and the Immigration International Check-in event will be on Wednesday, August 23rd.
I saw one about accommodations for graduate students on campus. So we have some limited availability for graduate students who want to live on campus. Everything is first come, first serve. So the students who apply early get placed first. There could be some availability left. I'm not sure. We're getting pretty close to not having availability left for some of those graduate accommodations, but you're welcome to fill out that housing application. If that's something that you're interested in. We've got some area at Buccaneer Ridge. So if you go to our housing website and look at Buccaneer Ridge. That'll give you an idea of what those accommodations look like. The website is just etsu.edu/housing. And they've got video tours and price breakdowns for all the different residence halls and for Buccaneer Ridge, where our graduate students live. I saw a question about I-20 processing time. So we're processing the I-20s as quickly as we can. It's a very manual process, and we're going from like a first come, first served basis. So we're just we're going through and processing those from the time that we receive those all the way through. So if you've not received yours yet, just know that you're still in line. We're still working on that and trying to get it finished as quickly as possible. If for some reason you don't receive your I-20 in time, then I would encourage you to defer to another semester if you're still interested in attending ETSU, and follow some of those deferment steps that we talked about in the presentation. I saw a question about, is it cheaper to be on campus or off campus for grad students? I think it just depends on the apartment complex or the house that you're renting or living in. On-campus housing is pretty comparable to off-campus housing, but that doesn't mean that you can find something, much more expensive or a little bit cheaper. It really just depends on what kind of amenities that you want. And that kind of thing. But most of the apartment complexes that are within walking distance of campus are pretty comparable to on-campus housing.
I've had a couple questions about waiting if you've applied for multiple GA positions and have not heard back. Should you keep following up with the department, or should you wait to hear back? The GA positions are very competitive, and so there's likely many applicants for particular positions. If you have already emailed once or twice, I would not discontinue emailing. Often that can actually slow down the process. I do think it's okay to ask for an update a few times, but just please keep in mind that these are very competitive positions and with likely many applicants.
I had one student ask if they arrive. So if they arrive the week of the 21st, are they still eligible to register for classes, or do they need to defer? If you can arrive that week, you should be okay. Please try to arrive by that Wednesday, because we have that in-person check-in for all of our international students. But for some reason, if your visa interview is that week and you can't get here because you don't have a visa yet, then let us know and we can talk to you about other options. But if at all possible, please try to be here by the 21st, or at the very, very latest by the 23rd. I had another question similar to the graduate assistant question. If you've not heard back from a scholarship, do you need to follow up? And so if you're welcome to follow up, but if you've already followed up a couple times and you've still not received a response, I would just wait. It's more than likely that there have been a lot of different applicants and they're still trying to make a decision. And so they'll respond to you as soon as they have that decision made. And I had another question. Will I be able to register for classes when I arrive a date later than August 21st? yes, you should be able to sign up for classes after that date. You will have to do, make sure you have no holds or anything like that. But if you have no holds, you're in good status, then you should be able to register for classes after the 21st. I had a question come in, average cost for on-campus housing as compared to off-campus housing. And that's really hard for me to answer. I don't have a good number, like as an average for off-campus housing. I know that when I've looked, it seems pretty comparable to the on-campus housing. And again, it really depends on which apartment, like for off-campus housing, it really depends on the apartment complex that you're living in, or where you're living at. And so I would just do your own research. If that link we can post again for you to be able to look at the off-campus options. We can also email that out, so that way you've got a link to that off-campus list.
If you do defer your admission, there is a process to get a new I-20 as well. There's another short form that you'll fill out to defer, basically to get a new I-20 for the next semester. It is shorter, but there is another form that you'll have to fill out. If you're not arriving until the 23rd of August, we do recommend arriving earlier if at all possible. But if you cannot arrive until the 23rd, it will be okay. You'll just need to come see our International Enrollment Services team as soon as you can upon arrival, so we can get all your check-in documents completed and get you ready for classes starting the following week. I have seen a few questions about late arrivals. We recommend not arriving after the first day of classes. If you're unable to arrive before August 28th, we would recommend consider deferring to the next semester. We are unable to provide letters after the start of classes for you to arrive, but you can defer if that is your choice. So just please try to, as I mentioned, even have some tentative travel plans, be watching some flights so you can purchase those just as soon as you receive confirmation of your visa.
I had another question come in. The student says they received a GA position on their acceptance letter. Is it guaranteed that I have that position? If you receive confirmation in your acceptance letter, that position should be secured. If you want to confirm with the department that gave you that GA position, you're welcome to reach out with them just to confirm. But if you have that acceptance letter and it's got that confirmation on there, then that should be the confirmation. If you've not heard back from a department, like Caleb said earlier, just give them time. I know that some are still trying to make decisions on filling some of those positions. If you've not already applied for a GA position, there are some still listed on our website, but please go ahead and apply and before you leave for ETSU. And if you can just make sure, if you're counting on that GA to be able to, that graduate assistant position, if you're counting on that to be able to attend ETSU, make sure that you've received confirmation that you received that position before arriving at ETSU. But yeah, I think we're right at an hour. And so we've had lots of good questions. this last section, and hopefully this has been helpful for a lot of you. And like I said at the very beginning, we're really excited that you are hopefully joining us in a few weeks. I'm really excited to meet some of you all. We will be sending out a recording of the presentation, so you'll have access to that. If you have other questions or anything like that, feel free to reach out to us. Like I said earlier, you can always send us a WhatsApp message. You can direct message us on Instagram or Facebook, or always send us an email. So thank you for joining us today. Hopefully this has been helpful. Caleb, I don't know if there's anything you want to add.
No, just thank you so much. As Taylor said, we're excited to see you and to meet you and welcome you to our campus. I think that you'll find just a very welcoming community here that's excited to have you and work with you and get to know you and develop relationships with you over the upcoming weeks, months, and years. So thank you so much for coming. We'll send a follow-up email out later today with a recording for this session. And then again, as I said, by tomorrow, you'll receive some information about purchasing your health insurance. So keep an eye on your email, and we will talk to you and see you soon. Have a great day.